So one of my money blocks was this fear of scarcity, right? Like lack of. And I had to dig deep into that fear and that block and wonder why I wasn't ready to receive. And I had a hard time, one, asking for help, and two, receiving help. And so all of a sudden, I was like, well, wait a minute. If I give to the other person, shouldn't I be able to receive also? And so it was opening up this door of receiving abundance and knowing that it's okay to receive that abundance. And so I had to be okay that abundance was my birthright.
I mean, it really is kind of a simple concept, but things that we forget to relate to every aspect of our lives. And really realizing that the energy I was bringing to the table, the expectations that I was putting on them, it really wasn't about them. It was really about me. And so I had to really figure out ways to shift that energy and find ways to reduce the pressure on myself and those expectations and let go of some of that perfectionism, because that's not what I wanted to teach them either. How can I ask for help where I need it? And how can I find the joy in that simplicity rather than this constant feeling like I have to create, right?
I think this is so profound that were able to take it to such an additional level of understanding.
And at that point, I was really on my soapbox. We do our best as parents, but people have their own stuff, right? So we're not actually teaching skills on emotional regulation, on conflict resolution, on how to develop friendships, right? How to develop a growth mindset. By the time they're adolescents and undergoing all of these changes, all of these stressors, not understanding what's happening to them, those additional stressors are too much, right? They don't have the resiliency to make it through.
It's your first date. Everything is scary coming out of the gate. The best advice I could give you is preface it with something that's kind of a self-deprecating humor kind of thing. If you're doing your first live or your 100th and you're still uncomfortable, just say, girl, I have no idea where this is going. I am nervous. Just preface it without perfection. Never let anyone who's listening or that you're working with believe that you're perfect. Your business will shut next month. You have to be transparent and authentic and tell them you don't sleep and tell them that you do whatever and be real. And because guess what? Everybody else on the other side is real.
Yes.
They be you.
Yes.
So, and do more and more and more of it.
Now, if we have to be at a job from 9 to 5, we're working for somebody else from 9 to 5. We have to ask for time off. We have to ask for a sick day. We have to ask for these things, and they don't seem natural. And we know that people's holidays can also get denied. And it doesn't seem natural to deny somebody a holiday, to deny somebody a day off, for somebody else to say that they need them there, that they need them there at this time, or they can't take this holiday. Well, you know what you need and when you need it. And maybe you want to take that holiday at that time because you're meeting somebody there, or there's an event going on there, or whatever the case may be. If you have kids, maybe the kids are off school at the time. There's so many things going on in our lives that the biggest piece to me, I would say, to have that, to take control of our own time back. That's the biggest piece. Is if you need to stay in bed that day for whatever reason, then you stay in bed that day for whatever reason. If you need to, go to the store, go to Costco at 12 for 2 hours, you could do that if you don't have any appointments. It's the freedom of the time. That's the biggest piece for me. And my time, our time is everything, but my time, I value it so much that's exactly what I would say to folks is think about your time and how you want to spend it.
Well, building my business has enriched my life because it's given me independence. So there was no providing on his part. It was all my income, and I needed to do it. So I went from being an employee bookkeeper to going back to starting, being self-employed. And I just kept building that through referral marketing and good connections and things. So you know, my reputation, I mean, number one, I'm a really good bookkeeper, and number two, I'm very referable. So I stay busy, I work hard, I get the work done. Again, it all comes down to providing me the freedom that I want to, you know, do some traveling or, you know, do fun things with my grandkids.
And would you encourage other women to build their business basically for the whole sense of independence, really?
A cookie cutter style doesn't work. So my number one thing is to learn everything about a person, about their genetic background, about their immune system, about their biology, about their family history, their likes and dislikes, their financial situation, where they live, who they live with, everything that's unique about you. And I take all of that into consideration to develop a plan that is based on you, and it's as unique as you are. I guarantee there is no two plans are the same.
I've started out with some nerves because I was one to never put myself out there. Like I've always kind of kept to myself quiet. And so when I first started putting myself out there, I was really nervous and scared because a lot of it came from that fear of judgment of like, what if no one's going to like this? Like, and like that vulnerability with it. And then as I kept going, I was able to get more and more comfortable because people are liking what I'm putting out there. And it was like, okay, this is surprising, but feels good. And like I said earlier, like I've been seeing what works and what doesn't work and continuing to do what works to help me get more and more comfortable. I'm like, okay, works. So I want to keep doing this.
I love it.
And so you're analyzing your past, you're analyzing your current self. And so I think it's definitely a healing process, but it's the best decision that you can make to be a better leader, because you're going to be more yourself, more united, more complete within yourself. And so I think it's really, really important to take that time, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you do to connect with yourself and with God, or, you know, who you believe in. I think that's really, really important, because if you don't take that time, your whole day, it can be rushed. It can feel, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be worthless, but you just feel more accomplished.
Exactly.
Because you're more in tune with yourself.
My mission as the Will Fairy and all my businesses under Ask Joe are about legacy, inclusion, and engagement. I work in communities and am part of communities and have friends in places where we tend to be marginalized, where we tend to not always get the full slice of the cake, so to speak, or that information comes in these different ways that are prevented in multiple ways. And with that, it means that we need to start to change how we approach some of these very basic elements of our life, of our business. I mean, a will is such a key element in everything that we do. Now, I will say for 2 disclaimers. One, I am not the will attorney. I'm the will fairy.
And this is something that is so important for everybody wondering how to manifest, or, you know, looking at manifestation like it's almost like a hoax. It's really, really not.
No,
I have done tons of research. I have seen so much success with other people, and as well as now in my own personal life. You know, I have been able to start to really manifest.
We have to find our authenticity. We have to be true to our values and align with ourselves. And then when all of that is cleared, you kind of get the go, and they all magically appear, but you have to believe in it.
I love what you just said, because it's so true. And so many women say this. It's as if when you are fully rooted in your desires, then all of the help that you need, or don't even know that you need, shows up for you.
It's a value that they are putting into themselves. I began to look at things differently. So that mindset and understanding that your skills, your abilities are worth that exchange of monetary energy.
This is one of the biggest money blocks that women tend to go for. So thank you for sharing that. I could not have said that better. And it's funny because the next question here literally is, have you had coaching to help you with your mindset and business growth?
Yeah.
And I love that you just said you have your own hypnotherapist to help you, because coaches need coaches, right? We all
Absolutely.
need coaches.
Oh yeah. If I didn't
Mhm.
have my own hypnotherapist, I wouldn't have made it this far.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It makes sense. They want to be the best. And sometimes we never connect the dots that, well, don't we want to be our best in our businesses?
Is completely, to me, it was like the most healing thing I have ever done for myself. It gave me so much empowerment and confidence. And so I had a lot of time to think and to heal and to grow. So like me growing the business, I was like growing my internal self too. And when I started, I was kind of in a rocky place in my life. And it just kind of like, it helped me to have the confidence I needed and empowerment to kind of become who I've always wanted to be. So it's definitely very a soulful experience.
I think it's one of the most the best ways to really build yourself and educate yourself and grow. And travel to me is also one of those things. It's funny, you know.
Totally, I agree.
I need money. And so I was doing different things, you know, to try and bring it all in. And then I realized that I was doing things, not wrong things, but I was doing things that weren't me and weren't, you know, it really wasn't the tone that I was looking to, you know, have for myself or my business. So I had to reel it back in, because I said, I'm letting outside, you know, I'm looking at what they have and how they got it.
But in my mind, and what I think, success is the accomplishments within your journey of getting uncomfortable and moving forward and toward that, you know, that goal that you set out to achieve. And day to day, like doing the darn thing, right?
Just do the thing.
If you go into it with a mindset of, this is it, this is going to happen, I have to make this work, then you look for the reasons to make it work, right? It 110% is mindset. And that goes for marriage, that goes for a job, that goes for raising kids, that goes for completing a college education program. A weight loss program, addiction. I tell my patients this all the time. If you want sobriety, the mindset has to be there. It has to be there, or you won't succeed. That's the magic sauce.
My big vision for my business is actually just to create a business that will scale and travel with me. So I love what I do, and I can do it from anywhere. I mean, you know, I'm Canadian. Most of my clients are in the US or in Europe. So I can travel from anywhere. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to create the kind of practice that I can, you know, move to, Panama or Costa Rica and just relax and be able to work from there.
My daughter is now 9 and my son is 4.5, starting school in September. So for me, spending time with them and having my freedom around that is probably my number one priority. So I wanted to find something where I can work my own hours and be more available as a mother to my children. And most of it is the fact that I can spend as much time as I want with my children. How it changed is that now I can, have as much time as I want to spend with my children and do things at home. There's a lot of good things around that. It's not like you close the door and you walk out, because your laptop and everything's at home. And I just wanted to have the right balance in my life.